Hi, I'm Donald Crunk, and this is what an aerospace engineering manager carries to work every day. Alright, so let's start with the stuff in my pockets, right? Like, just the stuff that is physically on me in a given day. Got a wallet, obviously, that goes without saying. Usually a watch of some type. And then I'm typically wearing like nicer pants because I have to do Mr. Manager stuff. So I'm wearing dress pants or like some kind of chino. Not always the vibe to have a pocket clip sticking out. Like most days I can get away with it, but some days, customers are visiting. I'm wanting to look fancier. So I've kind of latched onto these pocket fixed blades. So this here is the Creely blades Minnow, I believe, in Magnamax, which is a new steel. This is fantastic. I've been really enjoying carrying this. I don't do any kind of like pocket clip with it. I just stick it down in my pocket and it works really, really well. Additionally, I usually have one of these little pocket caddies. This one's from Arc. I used to carry a Swiss Army knife and like a Streamlight in here. I've since switched to this Lumen Top Black Cat. I think this was recommended by John Gadget's channel. I believe that's his name. And I'm really grateful for his recommendation of this light. It solves some problems for me. It's super light, right? And super compact. It's a great, like, basic inspection light, which for, like, for manufacturing, that's kind of what you're usually doing, is you're looking in tiny little holes and seeing what's going on. So that part's awesome. But it also has this UV light feature at the top. And that is super cool for a niche application that I have to check circuit board coating. You really need a UV light to check to see if that coating is applied to the circuit board correctly. This helps out a lot there. Before, had a dedicated UV light for that, and I'd have to cross the whole facility from the clean room back to my office to grab the UV light. Now it's always in my pocket, as well as a basic flashlight. And this has a nice magnet on the back. I can stick it on metal stuff. So it really has like all the features that I kind of want in an everyday carry flashlight. Super small, and it's super cheap. These are like, I think this was on sale for $12 or $13. Super glad I picked that up. The other item in here is the Gerber Shard, which normally I'm really not into these sort of like pry bar tools, but this one is, again, really inexpensive, and I have a niche use for it in that we have a lot of what are called NEMA boxes around the shop floor that my folks are responsible for maintaining. They hold our data acquisition systems and our industrial control systems and such, and they all have kind of a slot unlatch feature on it, and this sort of pry bar flathead tip is like the perfect size for that. Normally you need a really stout flathead screwdriver to get into these, but the Gerber Shard is sized perfectly for these NEMA boxes, so I keep that on me, and that's really where it sees the most use. I don't use like the Phillips head or any, I don't use the bottle opener or whatever. But that's what I use it for, and it's awesome for that. So, I do switch it up occasionally as far as the knife. Some other knives I would carry would be like this Spyderco Sage. This has been an awesome carry lately. I made the mistake of cutting some abrasive material with it and scratched the blade pretty badly. That was stupid of me, but this has been an awesome knife. Likewise, this Spyderco Endura Warncliffe is something that has just seen a ton of pocket time. I'm really lucky and blessed to have a big collection of pocket knives. But this, relatively humble, inexpensive Seki City Endura has really seen a consistently large amount of pocket time. So I can really recommend this knife highly, especially for the cost. It's a great knife. And then for a pen, I just carry the Pilot G2, right? Like, we get those for free in the office. I love the way it writes. Really simple choice there for me. So I've cleared the pocket stuff away, and we're taking a look at the bag that I take to work every day. This is a shoulder bag, like a messenger style bag. And the company is Esket Soft Goods. Now, as far as I know, Esket's not around anymore. They did an initial run of these messenger bags. A friend of mine was involved and let me know about it. And so I bought this bag in, I think, 2019 or so. And it has really been phenomenal. It's kind of minimal. It's really simple. It's seen just a consistently large amount of carry. So I have some other messenger bags that I've gone through over the years. This is the one that I've come back to, especially the last few years. So getting into it, there's this Fidlock buckle, which I wasn't familiar with before buying this bag, but they're pretty cool. They're a magnetic buckle. You can fasten and unfasten one-handed really easily. On this particular bag, there's elastic keepers for all of the straps. I believe it is a 500 denier Cordura bag. Has the top flap style opening. And it's a pretty straightforward bag. You have a large main cavity here, and then you have a zippered front compartment here with a couple of small pockets in it. So let's go through the main compartment. The first, I guess most important item for me is a notebook. And in my case, I'm carrying the National Lab Book 53-110, specifically this notebook. And it's kind of a bit of superstition on my part. About 9 years ago, I was a contractor before getting this gig full time. And the gentleman I was working for sent me off to work at the facility I'm at now. And he said, whatever happens, write everything down. And he gave me this notebook, the same model of notebook. And I was like, yes, sir. And I wrote everything down that happened. And that really was an important habit to develop. So after I filled that notebook, I was like, wow, I better buy that same exact notebook because there's something magic about that notebook. So for the last 9 years, I've been buying the National Lab Book 53-110. I'm going to skip the pages I've written in here at the beginning, but you can see it's kind of a grid style. The quality of the paper is really excellent. The only thing I would have to say about it is that the cover gets damaged pretty quickly, especially when it's in a bag like this, an unpadded bag. And it's also not the most maybe professional looking notebook if you're in the boardroom. If somebody out there has knowledge of a leather cover specifically made for this lab book, please let me know. I would love one. I'm on the verge of just breaking down and asking someone to custom make me one. But anyway, that's my National Lab Book. I filled up 7 of these now, I believe, over the past 9 years. And I write in it every day. To-do lists, just kind of whatever notes I need to take go in here. So this is a critical part of my EDC. All right, moving on. Have this little husky bag with some one-time use wipes for my hands and for other stuff. Really nice to have. These husky bags they lay really flat, and I think it was pretty inexpensive, and it has this nice tab that I can just pull out. So, big fan of these guys. Moving on the right side here, I've got what I call my medical lump. And that consists of a couple of items from Snakestaff Systems, who make some rather specialized medical gear. So this is their ETQ tourniquet, which is like a more compact version of the cat tourniquet, as well as their pressure pack, which is basically a quick clot gauze combined with a pressure wrap here. Some of the testing that we do is pretty high energy, and if there is a medical emergency, I want something nearby. We have plenty of med kits around, of course, but it's always nice to have your own gear. And of course, I take this bag other places than work, so you never know when you might need that sort of gear. I have it all kind of kept on there with this elastic band, so I can pull it out as needed. And this little pouch here is from ZeroFeud, I believe is the name of the company. I think Taylor Martin's channel recommended me this little pouch, and I bought a couple of them. I've got just like one of these little keychains there to pull it out. Shout out to Glenair 38999 connectors. If you know, you know. But this is just really a little kind of, I would say, a boo-boo pouch and a quote-unquote possibles pouch. Got my little compass in there so I can find my way. And there's some pills, and there's all the kind of like stuff in here. I might do a more in-depth video on that later. But my medical lump typically rides along in here. On the bottom, I've got this Matador mini blanket is what this is. This is just like a little water. I don't know if it's waterproof. It's certainly water resistant. Here in the P&W, it can be damp if you're looking to sit on a bench or whatever with your nice pants. And something like this is just nice to have. The other use is if I'm walking around and it's raining and there's something here I don't want to get wet, I can take this out, put it over the bag, and give that extra layer of waterproofness. So this is just really lightweight and easy to carry, so it hangs out in the EDC bag. This is kind of a pouch that went with this Esket bag. This is also by Esket. Has a little fidlock here. I don't really access this pouch too often, which is a good thing because it's kind of fiddly to get into sometimes, as you can see. But it's sort of their version of a tech pouch, I guess you would say. And I have, just some various kind of less critical stuff in here. So I've got a Nightcore headlamp in here, as well as some backup USB chargers and a little bit of shock cord for some reason. I don't know what that's doing in there. And then on this side, I have a little entertainment for myself in the form of this Bluetooth iFi headphone amplifier, which can Bluetooth to your phone and allow you to use your higher end wired headphones if you have them. So these are some in-ears from 7 Hertz. They're a planar magnetic set of headphones, and they sound phenomenal. I just don't really have that much opportunity to isolate myself and listen to music with what I do, so it doesn't see as much use as I would like. Now, sometimes what I'll do is I'll take this little tech pouch out, since I use that the least, I would say, and I'll add my electronics troubleshooting kit here. So this is in a Maxpedition bag of some sort. I forget the model name here, but it's pretty heavy. It's a lump, right? So it'll go in there, and it really has to kick something else out if it rides along. And I'm typically carrying this when I'm going off site to a customer site or a test lab nearby where I need to oversee some qualification testing. Occasionally I'll take it to work with me when I'm doing something specific, but for the most part I have the tools that I like, in the lab already. So these are really just specifically for travel. And there's going to be a separate video going over these, but this is really intended to support electromechanical actuation and test equipment. So you have a lot of electrical specific tools in here. And there's some stories behind these that I'll go over in a future video. So let's dive into the front pocket of this bag. First off, I have one of these little keychain LEDs. You can get them for like, $5 off Amazon for like 5 of them. And you can, I don't know, just use it to look in your bag. It's kind of nice. So this is the front pocket, kind of a clamshell style opening here. I'll start on this side. I've got the company phone, so I do carry 2 phones with me, personal and the company phone, which is a little obnoxious, but at least it's an iPhone like what I carry for personal use, so I can share some materials. Lip balm in there, a couple of charging cords, USB-C to USB-C. I think this is an Anchor branded one, yep. And USB-C to Lightning. Anchor battery, I want to say this one is 10,000 milliamp hour. Great for traveling. I think it's probably a generation or 2 old by now. Down here I have one of these Anchor gallium nitride prime, is what they're calling it. This is a 65 watt USB-C charger. This is not their newest generation, but I love the form factor. It's kind of long and thin. If you're dealing with an outlet that's kind of worn out and you plug this guy in, sometimes it can tend to sag. So that's not great. You have to like kind of stick something under there to support it. But overall, it's really powerful. The 65 watt output is great. If you plug in multiple devices, you're not going to get the 65 watts out of each USB-C, right? It's going to split it. Yeah, 65 watt capability out of a pretty small brick is really great. Let's see, I have this nice, beautiful Japanese handkerchief, which, has all kinds of uses, I suppose, but I just really like the texture of the cloth. I think it's really nice. I carry that with me. Neck gaiter, again, a variety of applications. This is a USB key that I keep a variety of things on, attached to another Gerber shard. I have a few of those. I really like them. Got some earplugs in here. This tool is it's kind of what you would use in lieu of a credit card for jimmying a door lock, basically. I don't use it for nefarious purposes or anything, but there have been times where we've lost power and the battery-powered door locks have shut off on us, and this has proved useful for that. So it's super lightweight, and it saves one of my credit cards from getting scuffed up. I think that's everything over there. Something you'll notice is these pockets here, they're relatively short. I would say, maybe 2.5, 3 inches tall. So that's kind of the one complaint I have about this bag is whatever you put in these pockets tends to kind of flop out. You have to be cognizant of the height of the items you're putting in there. So that comes over to the tools that I carry, and these are the tools that I really access the most frequently. So, I'm sitting in my office, someone grabs me, hey, there's a problem on the floor. I'm going to reach in here, most likely, and grab this screwdriver, which is the Wera Craftform Compact 25. I bought this in 2017, and it has been absolutely wonderful. Not a bad thing to say about it. I think most folks have seen these, but you keep the bits inside there. and the driver extend. So one of the benefits of this driver is that it is underneath the TSA 7-inch limit, so it travels really nicely. I just love this thing. So anyway, yeah, this frequently will go in my back pocket if I'm going off to do something, but most of the time it stays right in there where I can grab it out very quickly. A couple of Sharpies. This is the Mora? I don't know. Eldris. So this is a really kind of a short and stubby fixed blade. And I usually like to have a fixed blade in the bag just to kind of have it. Some days you're carrying you're carrying like a fancy knife, right? You don't want to mess up your fancy knife. You're carrying a knife with a weird blade shape because it's a Friday and you're feeling frisky. And it's nice to have, like, I guess for lack of a better term, a beater knife with you in those instances. And that Mornai Eldris has definitely been that for me. I guess I've had this for 6 years now, and it's been excellent. Going a little further here, I've got the Leatherman Free P2. That's the multi-tool. I don't own a lot of multi-tools. This is the only Leatherman I own, and I was just kind of curious about the concept. I love the action on it. It is magnetic. It's just very satisfying. But I would say the tool I use the most on this, honestly, is probably the scissors. And even then, it doesn't get a ton of use. I don't know that I've ever used like any of these tools. The pliers definitely. The blade, not my favorite. It's like half serrated, which I don't find super useful. But and definitely like these flat Phillips heads, like no way. I do carry it as just kind of an all-around good backup tool to have. So it has come in handy a few times. And last but not least in the collection is this Emisar Flashlight. I have a few of these, and I think I bought this in 2022. So what you're able to do with this brand, this is a Chinese brand for sure, but you can kind of custom order the flashlight that you want with the color temperature of the LEDs. Do you want a magnet in the tail cap or not? There's just a few different options, and so this particular one, I don't know, I really like this flashlight a lot. It's got this cool, like, kind of cream white color. Got the magnetic tail cap, so again, working on those NEMA enclosures, I can stick this on a door or the roof and really see really well. And what I like most about it is it has this super warm color temperature. I think this is a 2700K, and it actually has the de-dome option, which means that whoever makes this goes in and removes the opaque domes that cover the LEDs. So this is like the warmest color temperature that you can get, I'm pretty sure, from Emisar. So I love it. Like, it just makes me feel good to use it. Like it's like I'm working under candlelight or something like that. And it gets absolutely ridiculously bright, brighter than I would ever use for most work. Like when you're looking for something, like if your dogs run away or something like that, absolutely. But for close-up work, no thanks. But really like this flashlight. One thing I forgot to mention, like, there's no laptop here, right? Like, the laptop that I got issued was this, like, big 17-inch absolute gollywomper of a laptop that is really, it's a CAD tool, and it's not something that I carry back and forth every day. And if I need to move that thing around, I've got a dedicated bag for that. So that would absolutely not fit in this bag. In fact, even a 13-inch laptop, like, because the bag isn't padded, I don't think it's a great idea. iPad, absolutely fine. But for the most part, you know, I can use my work phone for answering emails and basic tasks like that. So anyway, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. I appreciate it. If you have any questions, of course, leave a comment. Be happy to answer it. And stay tuned. I'll be doing some more in-depth reviews of different items that I've collected over the years. And I have some interesting stories that I picked up along the way. Take care.